Hey everybody, call me Félix, and today we're having lunch at a restaurant that emanates trendy and upscale Metro Manila vibes, dab smack in the province of Ilocos Norte, IT Park in San Nicolas in fact. The place is called Seafood Capital, formerly known as Capital Gastroclub, that had relaunched as a full-on restaurant several months ago prior to filming, as Seafood Capital was previously a restaurant, bar, and discotheque altogether. The ambiance of the rebranded Seafood Capital combines a space that doesn't feel too far removed from a remodeled brick warehouse by Brooklyn Navy Yard with hipster chic elements and tinged with nostalgic artifacts if you go seeking them out right. As the name suggests, Seafood Capital is a seafood restaurant specializing in crab, shrimp, and mussels served in a couple of ways, but the most recommended preparation is the Cajun with a few spice levels to choose from. We tried the hottest level of Cajun seasoning on our seafood. The place is perhaps selling itself short by just honing in on seafood, as there are several mouth-watering meat dishes you can't miss, such as the crispy pata, baby back ribs, bagnet sisig with salted egg, and bulalo. So far, the rebranded Seafood Capital has garnered rave reviews from the locals, but could we be convinced by this glitzy oasis of trendy Metro Manila in the podunk province of Ilocos Norte? Keep on watching to find out. Well, look at this spread here. We got lots of meat and lots of seafood. But, you know, the first thing I'm gonna get is all the meat. And you'll notice I didn't get any rice because when you see this much food, you shouldn't get rice. Ooh, seafood chowder. Ooh, I got interrupted by that. That looks wonderful. Well, I got me some bulalo. So I think this is bulasing, so it's like a mixture. I'm smelling like sour tomato tamarind here. So I'm gonna start with the bulalo soup. Yeah, that soup is really refreshing. Beefy as well. Nice pieces of beef as well here. What do you think, Warren?
Wow.
Wow?
It's good. It's good.
But especially with the complement of all the stuff that we have, I think you want something a little sour. So this is a good complement.
It's delicious. It is refreshing.
Very delicious. So seafood chowder kind of looks like pumpkin soup. What do we have here? I think this is like a Manhattan style chowder. So back home, we have, you know, seafood chowder, the most typical you find is New England clam chowder, but that is based off of cream and with clams. But this has corn, carrots, it has this kind of orange color. It's probably like paprika. Or this is more tomato based, really. So trying out the soups first. Try that seafood chowder out. It's interesting. So it doesn't really have much of a Manhattan style seafood chowder. It's more of kind of like a little bit of a gumbo consistency, just a little bit. This soup has a thicker mouthfeel too. And I'm tasting a lot of that sweet corn with the carrots as well. There's like an undercurrent of like cayenne in there. Cayenne and tomato. I think the mouth feels about right. Kind of like a cross between a Cajun stew, like a gumbo sort of thing, and then a little bit lighter than that. I think I would probably prefer mine a little more oily, just kind of like a little thinner, like Manhattan chowder. So first seafood item is some calamares. JP says these are good, so I trust him on that. He had been here before. And then you got some vinegar, some onion, red onion, and then you got some chili as well. That batter's nice and light, and of course, love that zesty sauce. Ow, that spoon is hot, hot, hot.
That is so good.
That's so good? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try this bagnet sisig. Bagnet sisig with salted egg, but I think that salted egg had kind of evaporated a little bit. Okay. You get a lot of texture from the red onion, actually. So it gives them a lot of freshness. I mean, it's not too heavy. Bagnet sisig is actually pretty fresh. I don't, as far as like the flavors are fresh. And it's not too greasy, not too oily, that's good. Good. Not too fatty either. So far I'm really liking That bulalo especially. You know what? I think this is the bone marrow. Oh, that's my favorite part. Look at the gelatinous thing here. There you are. Oh yeah, beef butter. Yeah, that bulalo is really soft. That's really good. So out of the the 4 things I've tried, I really love that bulalo. So far it's a hit. Everything's a hit. I gotta try some crispy pata. Just dip that sucker in that sauce. Look at that. Lots of onions, a lot of some chili in there too. Nice, it's gonna look good. I think I got the end of the pig's foot myself here. I kind of like how the bagnet in that sisig is not too greasy and not too heavy. It's relatively light. It's relatively guilt-free. What feels guilt-free, of course, but isn't. So this is another specialty they have there. Baby back ribs.
Oh, it's succulent.
Yeah. Been a while since I had baby back ribs. So, yeah, it looks like loaded with sauce on top as well. It's soft, the bone's tender too. The seafood's just not getting enough play here. Just going for the meat first. Alright, there you go. Just follow the bone tender. Just a little bit of chew to kind of savor that flavor. The sauce kind of tastes a little more like tomato based but sweeter, but kind of like more mild, I would say. But yeah, look at that meat just hanging off there. I'm gonna try to finish that.
Is it sweet?
It's not too sweet, which is good, but you know, American barbecue generally has that brown sugar sweetness.
Yeah.
And such, kind of like sauce. You don't really get that here. Definitely like a mild sugar sweetness with a tomato, and then more of like a pronounced tomato sugary flavor. Right off. I think given like, it's not like kind of as satisfying with like, especially if you want your kind of like that hickory sweetness out of your baby back ribs.
But they fall off the bone.
But it didn't fall off the bone. But I like the quality of the sauce too. It's not, and of course with all this other food, especially, I mean, again, this is a place where you pig out, right? So I don't think you want it to be too sweet either. So then you can appreciate all the other food. So far, I like the quality of foods. It's not like the sisig, the crispy pata, they're not too heavy. So it's relatively light. So you can order as many rounds of food as you like. So you can have like a full-on smorgasbord if you want. Okay, I'm gonna get more of that piece of pata. We're all digging into the ribs here. Oh, except Warren here. He's dieting. He's on corn. He wants the corn from the soup. So it has that satisfying crunch too, the crispy pata. But not too heavy. It's good. Seafood stuff. So this is in Cajun spicy, apparently. I don't know how spicy it will get really. So you can see lots of sauce in that mussel. It's just a matter of ripping this thing off. Or whatever. It's not really spicy, unfortunately, with the whole spicy kick, but there's like a little bit of a tease, like a cumin sort of pepper bite coursing through, and then it doesn't give you the bite at all. But the mussel's nice and sweet. I wish it was a little more plump. Plenty of garlic in here. It complements the Cajun flavor. Alright, Warren.
Yeah.
So 8-year-old behind the camera cannot crack his own shells. You mind doing the honors, please? Dad's too far away, can't help. Is you. Come on, Daddy, I'm hungry for crab. Now, I wonder how much eggs are in here, because they tease us with shots that there's lots of tamale in here.
Daddy chill.
Ooh, look at that. Ooh la la, Warren. Now, to be honest with you, crab is like the least interesting seafood item to me. I'm not a crab person, unless you shell the thing for me and spoon the guts in the tamale for me. And like all the crab fat. Ooh la la, look at that. Ooh. Thanks, Papa. Nice, sweet, garlicky crab. They say Cajun, but you know what? They don't really put that much cayenne in here. It just has a little bit to remind you of, I don't know, I don't come from Louisiana, so I can't say it comes like tastes like home, but there you go. And like I've always said, people here, restaurants here are very conservative about their spice because you know Ilocanos don't handle spice well. And that's the reason why Mr. Warren here is still better than average Ilocano as far as eating samyang. He's not exactly boy tapang yet.
Samyang champ.
But even boy tapang can't even finish his samyang. I mean, shoot. It's good though. This is sweet. Oh, there's a little bit of a Cajun kick, but again, not spicy. Is it a McCormick Cajun seasoning that I'm detecting? McCormick. But yeah, it's good. Lots of jumbo meat, crab meat. Good texture, good and fibrous and tender. Yeah, the crab is prepared well in here and fresh. I've said that much now. Okay, so one thing I have to say here is the portions. Like JP was saying, they're small to begin with. He was not kidding. I'm dead hungry and we're gonna order more seconds. And then, I mean, the bulalo is excellent, but my golly, I am so hungry. Okay, the last thing I'm gonna review, I swear, is the crab eggs. Crab eggs with the tamale. This is what you come here for. I mean, shoot. That's what you pay top peso for, so I'm gonna try it and see if it's really good.
Wait, I'll do this for you. Hold on.
Yeah, it's really creamy.
There you go.
Creamy and fresh, and unfortunately, it got a little bit cold because we kind of did all the other things.
That's a good shot.
Ooh, yes it indeed. Instagram shot. You know how like the one where like there's always a girl with her back to the camera?
Looking at the sunset.
And then instead this is like you handing me crab guts. How romantic is that? Oh, the irony, everybody. You're supposed to laugh when I laugh, okay? Okay. So now I realize why JP kind of like the first time he went here with friends and they were the only people here.
It's nice. It's
Y'all
really
got
nice
wasted.
atmosphere. Yeah, I know. Yes.
And that's why they know him here, because they drank 2 bottles of tequila and 8 bottles of Red Horse.
I was hoping that they didn't remember me, but they did.
But they did.
As soon as I walked in, they said my name.
Ooh, personalized service. Ooh la la. Yeah. So now these guys, now JP's a legend with other his friends and his brother Ben. Okay. Very comforting too. This is gonna sound weird to you, but I feel like this tastes like Costco cheese ravioli demos, but it tastes good.
Really?
Yes.
Costco cheese ravioli.
Once you've let it cool for a while, that's what it tastes like. I don't know, it's like when you go to Costco and they give you those demos,
Yeah.
and yet it's like usually
Yeah,
like
free
cheese
stuff.
and like
Yeah.
herb ravioli. This is what this is.
I didn't. Really? Wow.
Yeah, but it tastes better than that. I'm not dogging it. I'm just like, it's so comforting.
I love that ravioli though from Costco.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's good. It's just good in an unexpected way that
Yeah.
you wouldn't have thought. Strange associations, everybody. Okay. I'm gonna turn this off because I'm so hungry. You won't believe it. And on that strange note of comparing Mud Crab Bro to Costco cheese and herb ravioli demos, let's put a wrap on our review of Seafood Capital. For me, the best dish of the meal was the bulalo, which tasted like a bulalo and sinigang mashup with a sharper than usual sourness that I welcomed. The broth was equally rich and beefy as it was punchy and refreshing. The meat was soft, tender, and the sumptuous bone marrow soaked up the rich, sharp broth well. The other meat dishes we tasted, crispy pata, baby back ribs, and bagnet sisig with salted egg were gentler in flavor, and probably by design, considering if you order round after round of meat and seafood, you won't be bombarded by too many rich, heavy flavors to bog you down. Still, I would have preferred more unapologetically porky flavors than something much more restrained. The baby back ribs would have been a bigger hit with me if there was more brown sugar sweetness rounding out the fall off the bone tenderness to be truly delectable. The seafood does what it says on the tin. The crab, shrimp, and mussels were tasty and fresh, but the Cajun seasoning lacks that oomph and that spice to really push it over the edge in tastiness, and frankly, that Cajun seasoning tastes much more garlicky than Cajun seasoning I'm used to. And lastly, I have to gripe about one thing, and it's a predisposed criticism by a hungry, heavy-set American. The portion sizes were small. For 2,000 pesos, you can get a seafood boil complete with shrimp, crab, and mussels with crispy pata and baby back ribs, which seems quite pricey by local standards, but especially for some of us with bigger appetites than usual. Off camera, we wound up scraping the back pages of the menu for imported sausage that tasted like solid Hillshire Farm Posca kielbasa back home, and Cajun fries that once again tasted like garlic fries with a dash of store-bought Cajun powder. Still, I was incredibly hungry and would have welcomed a delicious dessert, which at the time of filming was not to be found on the menu. In sum, seafood capital serves tasty food but with really small portions, at least as I'm concerned. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, and better yet, subscribe for more food and travel-related adventures. Until then, keep cool but care, and remember, the empire never ended.